Welcome to Innovators and Impact, the #1 business podcast in the Bahamas and the fastest growing in the Caribbean. This is a show where industry trailblazers and creative minds share their secrets to success. Each episode, we sit down with leading experts from diverse fields to uncover how cutting-edge ideas and powerful communication strategies converge to create remarkable impact. From CEOs to thought leaders and entrepreneurs to media moguls and creatives, our guests reveal the stories behind their successes and the success of their organizations. We also chat about the role that content, branding, and communications play in their journeys. So get ready for this inspiring conversation with actionable insights and behind-the-scenes look at what it takes to lead in today's ever-changing landscape. I'm your host, Ethan Kwan. Our guest today has extensive experience in leadership and finance and currently serves as the CEO of AML Foods Limited since February 2003. AML Foods Limited is an innovative Bahamian company with operations throughout the Bahamas, including New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Georgetown, Exuma. Their extensive list of brands includes Solomon's Fresh Market, Cost Right Wholesale, Domino's Pizza, and Chef Direct Food Service, all of which are known for quality and value and are well recognized throughout the Bahamas. We are so pleased to have on this episode of Innovators and Impact, Mr. Gavin Watchorn. Gavin, how are you, man?
I am very good. Thank you very much for having me.
No, man, it's a pleasure to have you. Like you and I started talking about prior to rolling, we look at companies who are leading in their industries, and then we really want to get an opportunity to sit down with the leaders who are leading these organizations and these companies. So we are so humbled and so happy to have you on the show.
I'm pleased to be here. It's my first time doing something like this. I feel you got to get out of your comfort zone every now and then. So yeah, I'm excited to do this with you guys.
Awesome. So Gavin, for those who may not be familiar with you and who you are, I just want you to share a little bit about your story. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do and how you've gotten here.
I've gotten here. Okay. So I'm Irish, born in a little village called Kilmead. Grew up in a little village called Kilmead, born a little bit up the road. Grew up in the Irish countryside in the 80s. So that shaped a lot of who I am. Spent a lot of time in countryside, going around through the fields with my friends, doing living the country life. I'm a chartered accountant by profession. I studied under a company called O'Neill Foley in Kilkenny in Ireland in the early 90s. Moved here in 98 for 2 years. I'm now here 26 years, I think now. So needless to say, it has grown on me.
Yeah.
I'm very privileged to lead a great company and a great bunch of people at AML Foods.
Awesome. Now, you've been here for 26 years, you said?
I believe so,
right?
Yes.
And so talk to me about that. Were you always at AML when you first came, or how did you get into AML and kind of talk me through your journey there? Yeah,
so I came here with KPMG. They were then situated on Collins Avenue. They're now at Montague. So I came out here to work as an audit senior. I got promoted over a couple of years to be a manager there. And I was assigned the audit manager of AML Foods, so at then Abaco Markets. So I got to know the then CEO, Mr. David Thurlow. Spent a couple of months working him on the audit, and one day he pulled me in and he said, "Would you be interested in joining us?"
Wow.
Accounting rules have changed now. You're not allowed poach managers now at this point in time. You have to, I think it's a year you have to wait now. And I sat down with my wife and we said, yeah, this is a great opportunity for myself, for our family. And yeah, I jumped into the world of grocery retail.
Awesome. Now, how was that transition for you, going from finance, accounting, auditing, to now grocery and retail?
Yeah. I think the main difference straight away is you're looking back in auditing, whereas in retail you have to look forward. And even now, I tell my team all the time that we have to play checkers and chess. We have to be looking forward and performing in the now, but we have to be looking out what's happening next month, what's happening next year, what's the trends, how do we get on top of those trends to make sure that when they hit the Bahamas, we're ready for them.
At Lifestyles Digital Media Group, we specialize in creating compelling corporate content that enhances your internal and external communication efforts.
Our clients come from a cross-section of industries such as banking and finance, healthcare, insurance, and many more.
At Lifestyles Digital Media Group, excellence is the standard.
Our highly skilled and passionate team knows how to produce content that will resonate with your audience and significantly boost engagement rates.
Let us help you tell your story, connect with your audience, and achieve your business goals.
The team here at Lifestyles Digital Media Group would love to help you get seen, be heard, and make an impact. Oh, wow, that's incredible. And I mean, so do you feel, and I do get a sense that you do, but what does it feel like to carry the weight of these 900 plus employees, one, but even on the wider scope, because the people in the communities that you serve, you have a responsibility and a duty to them as well. So like, not even just as CEO of AML Foods, you have a responsibility to your employees and your team, but at a greater extent, you actually have a responsibility to the Bahamian people.
You do.
And so how do you as a leader manage the weight of that?
So I don't think it's a weight now. Yes, during my career, there's times when I have felt that weight. You surround yourself with a great team. I just heard recently, I'm going to quote this, I won't name the gentleman, but I just recently heard this last week. And he said, if you want to run fast, you got to run by yourself. But if you want to run far, you got to run with a team. Mm-hmm. And we have a great team at AML Foods. And the team has changed over the period I've been there. But we have a team of great people. You have to trust them. You have to set them up for success. You have to get out of their way. You have to be prepared that they're not going to get everything right, that there may be failures. You have to manage the failures, that they're $5,000 failures and not $5 million failures. But you have to give people the scope. You have to trust them to give them the scope to do their job and get out of their way, and they generally do. Right? No one wants to be micromanaged. Our generation of leadership today you have to accept that younger folks coming into the workforce are different than when we entered the workforce 20, 30, 40 years ago, whenever you did. So no, I actually don't feel it as a weight.
That's interesting because, as a digital media company, Lifestyles, we understand the importance that digitization, that embracing technology, that, even, from a social standpoint, content and content creation plays in businesses. But we do feel that the Bahamas, or the certain industries within the Bahamas, are a bit behind the eight ball. Like, they're still looking at digitization as kind of a nice to have and not a need to have. Why is it that, well, one, you kind of indicated your position on digitization, but why is it that this is something that as a leader, you were focused on or are focused on?
So I think you can look at digitization a couple of ways. You can look at digitization as an efficiency to cut costs, and some people do that, and maybe there's a need to do that. You can look at a digitization because it's cool and everyone else is doing it, so let me not get lost, and kind of your fear of missing out on it. We looked at digitization very differently. We had set out a growth plan for the company, and we had looked at our processes and said they don't align. And you can't run 100 miles an hour and leave your team behind at the starting line. As a leader, you've got to bring them along with you. So we looked at digitization in a way to say, how do we make our people's jobs easier? How can we make them more successful? And how can we shift resources away from running our business to growing our business? If you have, an example, our finance department spent a lot of time preparing reports. And we're like, okay, let's just, how do we automate these? It's taken a lot of time and they've done a great job doing it. We now have reports for every alert you can think of. It's coming into people's inboxes in the morning. So we've looked at digitization as how do we get our people out of the weeds? How do we get them focused on the exciting things and let technology take care of the mundane? If you're not, and digitization can mean lots of things for different people, but if you're not focused on technology and all that covers, whether that's efficiency or digital content or everything in between, you're already left behind. The customer of tomorrow is a digital native. They're not looking at the newspaper for the ad for our business. They want it on their phone. They want it on their app. They probably don't even want it in their email, right? They've grown up with technology.
Right.
I remember when the landline got connected in my house. I was like, this is a great day. My kids are like, I'm ordering Amazon on my credit card to be delivered, right?
Right.
So as a business, if you think technology isn't for you, you're going to be challenged. If you're not already challenged, you're going to be challenged in the future. The world is just moving at a rapid pace. Again, I look at my generation and what we've seen in 20 years, and then I look at, if you're in your 20s, you've seen more digital change in the last 6 months than I saw in my first 25 years.
Yeah.
Welcome to Access Cowork Suites, where building connections and fostering community is our top priority. We believe in flexibility, from dedicated desks to private offices, shared workspaces, and even virtual memberships. You can choose the perfect setup for your business. We have phone booths and quiet rooms, perfect for Zoom calls, deep work, or anything that requires a little more concentration. Need a little fresh air? We also have an outdoor patio where you can relax, take a break, have a smoke, or even have a meeting in the sunshine. Access Cowork Suites has everything you need to succeed. Ready to join our community? Contact us today to schedule a tour or learn more about our membership options. We cannot wait to welcome you to Access Cowork Suites.
And that's interesting because even, along that same vein, like I remember when the internet came to the Bahamas, like I literally remember that. And, I have had an opportunity to watch the evolution of, the introduction and evolution of social media platforms, right? And, we try to get our clients to understand the importance of producing consistent, high-quality content, mainly because it's how companies are able to connect directly with the consumer, right? What is your company's, what is AML's, and maybe even by extent, your position or your thoughts on really embracing content creation and being on social media as a major company, as an industry leader, that you guys are? Because I do know that you're very active, and it isn't just posting static flyers. I see you as the leader, as the CEO, in the videos, talking to the audience. How important is it that you be that face and that companies really embrace content creation and social media?
So it's like, as I said, digital. You have to embrace it. The world is changing in how we receive content. The days of waiting for the newspaper it's still an important resource, but today's, sorry, you probably want you to edit this for me. The customer of the future is going to receive their content a lot differently than the customer of yesterday and even the customer of today. So you have to engage in this. I won't say have to because it's required to gain customer trust, but that's how you reach your customers. That's how you communicate with them. That's how you give your message to them. Me as a leader, I do tend to leave that more so to my team, who's well more qualified to do it than me. But the message that I do, it's important to the audiences that I speak to. I want our communities to know that we're here to serve you. It's important for you to hear from me of what we're doing, the commitments that I make. If I make a commitment on a social social content, that's around forever. You know, you live by your word, you honor your commitments. But I believe, I believe it's just the future. It's how you connect with people, and it's how it's where we are today, right? If you're not doing it, you're just not going to connect with your customers anymore.
Let's talk about something that's a game changer for corporate businesses: standard operating procedure videos. Now, before you scroll, hear me out. Think about it. How much smoother could your team run if every process was crystal clear, easy to follow, and always available at the click of a button? SOP videos are transforming how companies train and operate, making workflows more efficient and reducing mistakes. But here's the big question. How effective do you think SOP videos really are in streamlining operations and keeping teams on track? We want to hear your thoughts. Drop a comment below. Do you think every company should be using them, or are there better ways to communicate procedures? Let's dive into this discussion together. Follow us for more industry insights and corporate media solutions.
How would you describe your leadership style? And I think you kind of alluded to it, but how would you discuss your leadership style? How would you describe your leadership style? And, you know, who are some leaders that you look up to? You know, where are you getting fed, for lack of a better word, right? Because you're pouring so much into people. You know, you're really, you know, chartering the course of a major company here in the Bahamas, setting trends. But who do you, I guess, take nods from? Who do you look up to? And it doesn't have to be in the retail space, but like, who are you getting your cues from when we're talking about leadership specifically?
I don't know if there's anyone in particular, very honest with you. I read a lot. I try to stay educated on what the trends are. And as a leader, you have to listen to your people. And you have to pick the cues from them. I think as CEO, I think I've got a couple of main roles, and then I try to shape my leadership around that. First and foremost, my job is to grow the company. That's where I like to put my time. It's exciting, and it's where I put a lot of my time, is what's the opportunities to continue to grow our company. I have to grow our people, and I put a lot of time into growing our people. I have a mentorship program that we have future leaders spend with myself, and again, I enjoy that helping our team to allow them to aspire to the next level as well. And then the other part of my job is making sure that the business plan is achieved, the quarterly or monthly plan is achieved. And I don't micromanage, I don't believe in it, I don't like it, I never liked it myself. People know what they need to do. I don't need to call someone in my office and say, we didn't meet this target. They already know they didn't meet the target. Me telling them they didn't meet the target doesn't make it any better. My job is to listen to the why, listen to their solution, and then help them with that. Like, let them ask the questions to make sure that they've thought of all of the solutions, and then again set them up for success so that we we're good on that particular metric, the following check-in. So I hope my team look at me in the same way, that I get out of the way. I allow them the space to do their jobs, and I allow them space to focus on what's important.
Hey everybody, this is Sydney Clark, aka Sid the Squid, and I just finished shooting with the Lifestyles team. I had a wonderful time today, and I would recommend anyone to come if you're working on your personal brand, business, whatever it is, athletes especially. This is the first time that I've partnered with another business to help with my journey. They did a wonderful job, and I had such a great time on set that I'm ready to come back and shoot some more.
Wow, that's awesome. So, well, I kind of want to put you on the spot only because I'm a reader myself. You said you read, you love to read. If you were to recommend, say, your top 3 books for leadership development, what would be your top 3? That maybe, and even if it isn't for leadership development, we could broaden it. We could say your top 3 books that has really had an impact on you as an individual and as a leader.
Yeah, it's a book that's written by readers of McKinsey.
Okay.
And it sets out different aspects of a leadership journey and the things that a leader needs to be good at in order to be successful. And I found that very good. In fact, I bought a copy of it for all of my senior team.
Wow.
For them to read as well.
Now, I'm familiar with most of the AML Foods Limited brands. I know Solomon's Fresh Market. I know Cosray. I know Domino's. I'm not too familiar with Chef Direct Food Service. So I want you to let's talk about that a little bit.
Yep.
And what was the strategy behind incorporating this into your brand family?
Yeah, so Chef Direct is a brand new business for us. We just launched in June 24 in Exuma. We saw a space in the market, in the food service market, and we looked at, is this an opportunity for us? The traditional food service market is served with large warehouses, lots of trucks, lots of people, lots of inventory. And I didn't want to spend all that money to do that. So we sat down and said, is there a different way of doing this? And this is our first almost 100% digital business. It's not quite, but it is very digital. We don't maintain a lot of the assets that you would see from a normal business of this type. Our customers, all their interactions is digital, payments is digital, shipping, everything is automated for us. And we are delivering last mile service to the customer. So we're quite excited about it. We think it's a great opportunity for growth. We have since launched in Abaco and Alutra, and we're launching the business here in New Providence in February.
Welcome and onboarding videos serve as a warm introduction for new employees, providing insights into your company culture, values, and introducing key team members in the organization. Additionally, they offer an overview of company policies, procedures, and expectations to help new hires integrate seamlessly within your organization. Wow, that's incredible. All right, so before we officially wrap, is there anything else that you would like to add to the conversation, or maybe that we didn't touch on?
Yeah, I think it's one thing I would say, and to go back to Dorian. Building the ability to deal with adversity is important for leaders today. The journey is not smooth. AML's journey has not been linear. Our industry, our country went through a really tough time. We had Dorian, we had COVID, we had supply chain, we had inflation back to back to back to back. And I think you've got to lean into adversity and lean into change. You can react to change. Reacting to change generally means you have to try to get someone else to change their opinion or their solution, or you can lean into change and shape it. And whether it's a process in your company, or whether it's a government policy, or whether it's a new technology, embrace it, make it work, and yeah, lean into it. AML has grown through periods of adversity. We have looked into it, and not that you take it as a business opportunity. At times of adversity, your priorities change. But how we have reacted and how we've dealt with adversity has generally always led to us growing our business and positioning yourselves for opportunities that may arise after it. So, yeah, I think you got to build muscle. You have to be prepared that it's not all going to be smooth. There's times when I don't believe in leadership as lonely. It's only lonely if you want it to be lonely. It's only what's the cliche, right? Lonely at the top or something.
Right.
It is if you want it to be. You've got to invite your team. You've got to create a circle that can advise you, mentor you, support you. You're not going to get it all right. Don't think you know everything, because you don't. And even, maybe not even, but I believe you should always surround yourself with people who know better than you. And that doesn't mean that they have to be gray hair. In today's environment, more and more you need to listen to people who are much younger than you, because they're your customer 10 years from now.
Wow. Food for thought, Gavin, food for thought. Well, thank you so much for taking time. I know you're super busy, but we really do appreciate you taking the time to come on Innovators and Impact, have a really good conversation with us.
Thank you for having me.
I know I learned a lot. I'm super inspired. I'm definitely going to check out that book. But no, it was an awesome conversation. So I'm sure our audience and our viewers definitely got some value.
Been a pleasure. Thank you very much. I enjoyed it. Yeah, great.
There you have it, folks. We just wrapped up this amazing conversation with the CEO of AML Foods Limited, Mr. Gavin Watchorn. As you would have heard, there is so much to building a successful business, and digitization is key. But my main takeaway was the team. You want to focus on building your team. I would love to hear your takeaway from today's episode, so please leave it in the comments below. And if you know somebody who can get value from this episode as well, please share it and make sure you give it a like and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'm Ethan Quant, and this has been another episode of Innovators and Impact.